everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I realised that it's been a while since I've done a sit down chatty video, and so today I thought we would discuss some of my 5-star predictions for books that I currently own. A lot of these are actually new releases, which I'm not surprised at, but I'm a bit ashamed that I haven't got to them yet, because I pre-ordered quite a few books and they just sit on my shelves for a while. So the first one is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, which is a contemporary romance with sort of a magical realism aspect to it. So in this we follow our main character Florence, who is a ghostwriter, and she's just gone through a bad breakup and no longer believes in love, which is a problem because she writes romance books, and so she's struggling to stick to her strict deadline and is unable to get an extension, and so she's worried that her career is about to end. And when she heads home, she sees a ghost at her front door, but it's not just any ghost, it is the ghost of her dead new book editor. So this just sounds really intriguing straight off the bat, but something that I think is going to make this a 5 stars for me is I've heard that this deals with the topic of grief really well. I believe it's the grief of a parent or the grief from a loss of a parent, but I think grief, no matter what, can find ways to speak to you in any context, and it's something that I've struggled with, and I just really love to read about it, which sounds actually a bit weird, but I think it's just finding different ways to discuss it and be more open about it rather than it just consuming you. And so I think that's going to really speak to me and make me really attached to the story, and that's why I think it's going to be a 5 stars for me. So the next one I have is A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. This is the second in the Wayfarer series, and I read the first one 2 or 3 years ago now, I think, and I gave that 4 stars, but I think I need to reread it because I think about that book a lot and just how much I really enjoyed it and loved it. So the first one, from what I can remember, which bear in mind isn't a lot because of how it's been a while since I read it, follows this ship, and I think they take on, like, the crew are sort of like mismatches. They don't have their own group and they've sort of come together onto this spaceship, I don't know, but it's just one of those really quiet, sort of, the plot is slow moving, character driven books set in space, set in this spaceship, and you just really grow to love the characters in there. I definitely think I'm going to reread it before I go into this one, just to refresh my mind, but this one follows Lovelace, who was the ship's artificial intelligence system, but after the ship had been badly damaged, she had to be rebooted and reset, and is now housed in an illegal synthetic body, and it's sort of following her deal with that. You know, she's not what she was, she's not in the system that she's used to. And then it also follows Pepper, who was another crew member on that ship, who was an engineer who risked her life to install Lovelace's program, has remained by her side and is determined to help her come through this sort of transition. And I think this is just going to be such a lovely story and deal with some quite emotional topics, especially as it follows how Lovelace is feeling so isolated in her new body. I think it's going to really be quite emotional, and so I have a feeling the first one is actually a 5 stars if I reread it now, and so I think if this is anything like that one, it would also be a 5 stars. Then we have the highly loved Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. This is a cozy fantasy set in a coffee shop, I believe. yeah, so it follows Viv, who is an orc barbarian and was an adventurer and fighting and things like that. But now her new dream is setting up a coffee shop, and I just think that is such a fun idea. I'm sure you've all seen the artwork, but this is them in their coffee shop. Love it. And yeah, so I believe this just follows Viv trying to fulfill her dreams of opening this little coffee shop and all the characters that she meets along the way of this adventure for her. I've not read cozy fantasy before, but so many people love this, which is one of the reasons I think I will love it too. But also, I just love a cozy book. I love a character driven book, which is definitely what this sounds like. And I love just following along people's lives. Like, that's one of the reasons I like literary fiction a lot, is because we're just following people in their lives, but mix that with this fancy element, following an orc and the cozy vibes of the coffee shop. I think I'm just going to really love it. In keeping with the cozy fantasy theme, which has been quite popular this past year or so, I also have Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries by Heather Fawcett. So this follows Emily Wilde, who is a scholar. Her expertise is in the study of fairies. But one thing that she isn't good at is the study of people. And so I believe that during Emily's sort of next studies, where she goes to find out about the hidden ones, she needs to have those people skills. And as she lacks them, she sort of befriends Wendell Bambleby, who is great at the people person aspect. But then upon befriending him, she's like, what is his story? What does he want? What's he here for? And I guess we just follow them whilst they also study fairies, which just sounds so fun to me. I love fairies. I love a fae story. And I think this is just going to be really whimsical, character driven again. And I think I'm just going to really love it and have a really fun time with this. Next up, we have The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, which has just been released, and actually at the time I'm filming this, I received yesterday, and it's gorgeous. So this is a book that is set against the backdrop of Spain's golden age, and it has magic and intrigue in it. So we follow our character Lucia, I think that's how you pronounce it, who uses scraps of magic to get through her days of endless toil. But then her mistress discovers her talent for little miracles. She demands that Lucia uses those gifts to win over the royal court. And so we see Lucia get wrapped up in this world of power-hungry nobility, kings, holy men, and seers, where the lines between magic, science, and fraud blur. And then in this as well, we've got it, because of where it's set, we've got that element of women not being able to use the power that they have, or having too much ambition can be proven to be deadly for a woman. I can't lie, the only reason this is on here is because it is by Leigh Bardugo. To me, she can do no wrong. The Alex Stern series by her is one of my all-time favourites. And I feel like this is her following on from that sort of different venture from what Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows series was. And because I love the Alex Stern series so much, I think I'm going to really, really enjoy this. However, the only thing that concerns me, and why I think this might not be a 5 stars, is because it is a standalone, I believe. And I'm used to her series, so I feel like I might just feel like there's a bit missing. But we will see. I do think this has a really high chance of being a 5 stars, and I really hope it is. And then the last book that we have for this video today is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Now, I am not a Brandon Sanderson girly yet. I have read the Frugal Wizard's Guide. No. The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. And that was okay. It was I wanted more from it in certain points. I'm not sure if his secret projects are the place to start, but this one just really speaks to me, mostly because there is a talking rat in this. And now, if you know me in real life, you'll know that that I have a weird love for rats and also pigeons. And so anything that has a talking rat in it, I feel like I'm going to love. I even have a little rat ornament in my living room because I just love them. And so in this one, we follow Tress, who has only known her island life. She is someone who enjoys the simple pleasures of collecting cups brought from sailors from faraway lands and listening to her stories from her friend Charlie. But her father takes Charlie away to find a wife, and apparently disaster strikes, and Tress must now stow away on a ship and seek the sorceress of the deadly midnight sea. And so it's like a bit piratey. Seems like it's gonna be a bit whimsical again, character driven, which I think we can all tell that I love. And just so many people have loved this and have been surprised that they love it so much. And for that reason, and that the fact that there's a talking rat in this, I truly believe that I could give this a 5 stars, and I really can't wait to read it and find out. And so that concludes today's video of some of my 5-star predictions. Obviously, you'd hope that whatever book you buy and read, it would be a 5 stars, but sometimes certain books just have you get a calling for that, yes, this is going to be a 5 stars. And so I really hope these can pull through for me. If you've read any of these, please let me know what you think of them, or let me know in the comments what book you want to be a 5 stars, or one that you've recently given 5 stars. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!